We've been talking about various crises for the last few weeks, whether it's energy, whether it's water. It all seems to feed in to one thing, and that's it's almost impossible to build things in this country.
Absolutely. So Priced Out, we campaign, we focus on the housing crisis, which is fundamentally a supply crisis. We haven't built enough homes. But if you look at these other crises, we see things like water infrastructure, energy infrastructure and transport infrastructure is often blocked by the same processes, the same systems that block new housing, and that's the planning system and, to put a name on it, NIMBYs.
Well, let's have a look at some of these examples of NIMBYism. Over the weekend, I noticed that the Conservative MP Maria Caulfield had been delighted in campaigning against a solar farm in her constituency. Here's the tweet, boasting of blocking investment in new energy. Similarly, we're not just party-specific here. The Liberal Democrats' Layla Moran has been boasting of campaigning against a new mega reservoir, as she describes it. This, of course, just a few months before the water crises and hosepipe bans. We haven't built a new reservoir in the southeast of England since the 1970s. How have we got to this point?
Absolutely, and the Abingdon Reservoir has been proposed for decades, and it keeps getting blocked by NIMBYism. And the reason is that people never think about the bigger picture. They only think about their local area, and frankly, it's selfish, be it housing, solar farm, water infrastructure, exactly. They think about, well, what's the impact going to be on me, on my view, on my traffic? They don't think, well, what's the impact going to be on my children's generation or on the country as a whole? We desperately need this infrastructure and we need more housing to solve numerous crises, and we're just not doing it.
And very often when it comes to housing, people say that, well, the housing might come, but then we need more infrastructure. But it's the same systems and, frankly, local politics that is preventing that accompanying infrastructure going alongside the housing. Is there any sort of solution?
I mean, there are solutions. Whether they're politically feasible is a big question. I think that people in this country need to wake up and look at where we're going, this poly-crisis that we're in. Part of it is external, of course, the Russia crisis, but part of it is that we haven't built this infrastructure. We're still using Victorian-era infrastructure when they actually built things. So we've got the oldest housing stock in Europe, we've got tiny houses, we need to build things, and I think the people who might object to this stuff, the people who, gum up the planning system, they need to think about the impact of their own actions and what is the world they're leaving for the next generation.